Hey everyone, this will be the last of the altered pentatonics, just basically how to construct them and how to play them on the neck. This one's maybe the most confusing. Now all of these altered pentatonics obviously have modes to them, just like our major and minor pentatonic does. They are just modes of each other. So the way that I learned this one was it's called the Lydian Augmented pentatonic. Uh, I've seen it in a lot of other places, and other people have talked about it as being the major flat six pentatonic. And it's kind of that same relation. If the way we're starting it, um, basically, uh, just for example, if we have A, our next note is C sharp. If we start the scale from that C sharp and play the exact same thing, then we've got major flat six. Versus where if we're starting from A, we're going to have Lydian Augmented. So just keep that in mind when you're practicing these, or if you see them, mentioned somewhere else, it's called a different name. But I'll always refer to it as the Lydian Augmented pentatonic, and when we get into how to use it and everything in other lessons, it'll be referred to as Lydian Augmented pentatonic versus major flat six. And again, that relationship is just starting from the third of where we're starting it from. It would just be the major flat six pentatonic. So getting into it, it's very similar to the Lydian pentatonic scale that we came up with, which was basically root, major third, sharp 4, sharp 11, 5, major 7. The only difference with this one is we're now going to sharp our fifth as well. So in terms of what we're doing as far as notes, we're going to have A as our root, then we're going up a major third, C sharp, keeping our sharp 4, which is D sharp, then we're sharping E. So inharmonically, it would be an E sharp technically, but inharmonically it's going to be F. So we're just going to think of it as an F. It's a little bit easier. Then we're remaining that G sharp. So as far as fingering goes, if you remember what we did with the Lydian pentatonic, basically the same thing. This pattern, we're going to start with our major seventh, G sharp, which is on the 4th fret of the low E string. Then we're going to use our ring finger to A, the 5th fret of the low E. Then we're going to the next string, 4th fret, 6th fret. Here's that raised 5th, which is 3rd fret of the next string, 6th fret. Then we've got a little bit of a stretch. 2 on the G string to 6. Then we've got 2, a finger 2 on fret 4, 6, 4, and 5. So all together. One more time. Our next pattern, which as you remember kind of came out of that pattern. One cool thing you can think about this scale is actually being like a minor pentatonic flat 1, which I know sounds weird. Since we're playing an A, let's just pretend we're playing B flat minor pentatonic for a second. If we lower our B flats down to A and then play the same scale, we get the exact same pattern. So that could be like a little cheat for some people to just think about playing a minor pentatonic scale but with a flat at 1, which I know sounds a little bit weird, but it could visually help out. But anyway, the second pattern, we're starting A on the 5th fret of the 6th string. We've got this major third skip that we've had in every one of the major Pentatonics. This is fret 9, fret 6, fret 8, fret 6, fret 7, fret 6, fret 8, fret 6, fret 9, 5, 9. Again. Right. That takes us to our next pattern, which people that know this one is major flat 6. That's basically what's happening here. Like if we had C sharp major, that 6th scale degree we would lower. Right. So again, that could be a visual thing. Again, we're looking at this as a Lydian Augmented pentatonic. But it started on C sharp with our middle finger, 9th fret, 11th fret, 8th fret, 11th fret, 7th fret, 11th fret, that's 8th fret, that'll be our 10th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, 9th fret, 11th fret. And again. Alright, moving on to our next pattern. We're going to be on the 11th fret. This one's the one that starts from the sharp 11 or sharp 4 to D sharp. Still 11th fret. You could probably start this on multiple fingers. I tend to start with it with the first finger. We're going 11 to 13, then 11 to 12, 11, 13 again. Then we're going 10, 13, and then 10, 14, and then 11, 13. So we get this. One more time. And then finally our last one. This one's starting on the sharp 5, which in our case is it's E sharp, but we're just going to think of it as F. So we're starting 13th fret of the low E string, going to our G sharp, which is on the 16th fret of the low E. Right. Number 12, 16, and we're going 14, 15, or 13, 15, 13, 14. Going to roll the middle finger to hit 14 on B. Right. 16. Pinky to, or that was with our pinky. Pointer finger is going to 13th on the first string, and then finally 16. If you wanted to, you could hit that high A to get that in there. So I'll go over that one again. We're starting on 13, 16, 12, 16, 13, 15, 13, 14, rolling, 14, 16, 13, 16, and then if we wanted to, 17. So one more time. just like that sound, how it resolves. Just a really awesome sound. So that'll be it for all the kind of tutorials of where and how to play all these. It's kind of up to you to memorize these shapes and be able to play them in different keys. So we've already kind of looked at static harmony of a D minor. We'll look at a little bit of getting outside using these things over minor chords, and then of course we'll look at how to do the same thing over static major chords and static dominant chords, and then we'll look at how to apply all this stuff over top of a standard or something that has a moving chord progression. So thanks again. We'll see you in the next lesson.